It's time to start putting the car back together. Here's the new catalytic converter. I decided to keep this one. I did some research and this will fit just fine, even though the heat shields are different. A back heat shield goes here, and they are available somewhere, but I couldn't find one. So it's okay to install without it, but it'd be better if you had it. Also, the replacement heat shield only goes about this far. It only covers about this part of it. So yeah, the old one went all the way down, and it even kind of covered this. So even if you have the heat shield, it's not quite have the same coverage as the original, which kind of means that's why I kind of think it's okay to install it without the rear heat shield. Front heat shields, I don't know. I think they'll fit on there. It just depends on, of course, the holes lining up and also the oxygen sensor location. I'm going to try to install them. I have not checked to see if they're going to fit though. That'll be, I know I'm putting it on with or without the heat shield, so I'm just going to move forward. Now here's the old exhaust manifold gasket, and this is the new one, and slightly different, but the holes line up, so I think it's going to be fine. This is the new donut seal that goes at the bottom of the unit. And that donut unit, I think, has to be installed onto the catalytic converter before you try to install it. So that's going to be the plan. Now, there's some garbage and stuff here. I'm going to scrape that away and clean it away, even though it doesn't really matter. It's just going to get dirty again. But while I've got it off, I might as well do it. Yeah, so install the exhaust manifold gasket first. Then install the donut onto the catalytic converter and then drop it in there. I need to put anti-seize. Don't forget to put anti-seize on each of everything you touch. All nuts and bolts need anti-seize and high temperature anti-seize. Okay, so let's get this going. Note, it would be an excellent time to replace the thermostat that's underneath this. I believe this car actually has 2 thermostats, and that's one of them. I may be wrong. This may be the only one they have, but yeah, I mean, while you get this apart, take that housing off and replace it. I didn't think to do that, so I'm just going to have to suck it up. I don't believe it's too big of a deal, even with the exhaust manifold on there. I don't remember, but yeah, just something to consider when you're doing this job. And also the water pump. If you need to replace the water pump, or even if you don't need to replace it, I should have bought one, didn't think about it, but wow, it's right there with the manifold removed. It's a lot easier, isn't it? It may be even impossible with it on there. You may have to remove this to replace it. Didn't think about it. Took a few minutes to research this. This can be removed easy. All you got to do is remove the heat shield from the front, and it gives you access to that. The water pump, the only thing that's got to be removed is the alternator. So I can go ahead and put back all the exhaust components and still be able to replace that water pump. So I probably will do that since I've got this apart. I just wanted to make that note and let everybody know. And I've got the torque values written down, so I'm ready to start proceeding. Before I begin, I wanted to comment, I'm using a copper-based anti-seize lube. This stuff you can buy just about anywhere. I think I bought this at O'Reilly and it was like 11 bucks, something like that. But one of these jars will last you a long time if you're just a shade tree mechanic like me. Of course, if you do this professionally, you'll probably zip through it pretty quick. But this stuff is good to 2,000 degrees, which is El Primo for this job. Just going to comment here, I'm putting some anti-seize grease here. The idea is this is just going to slide off if it doesn't have something kind of sticky holding it in place. So I put anti-seize grease, as you can see on there. I'm going to slide this on. Since it's past the catalytic converter, the grease isn't going to hurt anything to put there, I don't think. Anyway, just wanted to make that comment. So the bolt that snapped off, and I was taking the catalytic converter out of the car for the lower, for the bottom hanger. I found a replacement bolt, same thread and size, but the length is like double what it's supposed to be. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting a lock nut on the side where, on this side where the head is, and then I'm just spacing the crap out of it so that this will work. I don't know if I can recommend others to do that, but I don't have the right size and I don't want to go get one. And if I went to the dealer, it'd probably be $10 for that lousy bolt. So I'm just going to makeshift it. So I've got everything secure on the catalytic exhaust manifold assembly. These were originally studs with nuts. The kit comes with bolts. It also comes with nuts, but I don't really know what to do with the nuts. So put the spring, these torque down to 33 foot-pounds according to the manual. Now that was with nuts, but I did it the same. And the bolt that broke was this one, and you can see what I did. I stacked a bunch of washers there to get that there, and both of these only go to 11 foot-pounds. It's going into aluminum, so 11 foot-pounds is all I went there. On top, these nuts, let's see, these nuts here, 5 of them, those get torqued to 30 foot-pounds. So it's all back together. What I was trying to say is the manifold is fully installed. Now I think the next thing we want to put in is the oil dipstick. Now there's an O-ring right here. I'm going to go ahead and replace it if I can find a good match, because that feels like it's hard as a rock and I just don't want that to leak. So replace that O-ring, then I'll install that. So the old O-ring was hard, and when I tried to remove it, it just broke, and it's hard and flat. So that's it, and I'm trying to match it. There's the new one I'm going to put on there. It looks like it's about the right size, so I'm good. So I've been trying to get the heat shields back on. The lower one does line up. It goes on no problem. Upper one will not go on. The holes, you can line up the 2 top holes, but this bolt needs to be longer than normal to do that. But the bottom 2, no way. I mean, you push it, and even if you're pushing all the way down, the hole won't line up. The stud is too low. The thing it threads into, I'm calling it the stud. The thing that the bolt threads into is too low. And the problem is the pipes underneath this come up too high. I was thinking you might be able to bend this or something, but no, I don't. I think you just end up damaging this, and it wouldn't go on. So if you buy an aftermarket like I did, take a good close look at it. Yes, they're cheap. They're like 70 bucks or something, but you've got to keep in mind that stuff like this isn't going to work out for you. Heat shields aren't going to be able to be reused. This one I don't think is critical. The back one between the engine and the exhaust, yes, I think that one probably needed to be put on. But so yeah, be careful when you're getting aftermarkets. For me, I don't even know if this is going to fix it or not, so I don't want to spend $500. Yes, that's how much these cost. These can cost $500 to $1,200 for ones that will just go right in and no problem. Now, there are other ones that might too, but anyway, I'm rambling. Basically, this is not, the heat shields aren't going on. And now, it mounted just fine. I got the exhaust pipe connected. I've got it connected to the engine. I think it's going to work just fine. I've got the oxygen sensor plugged in, and it's into the assembly, the manifold assembly. But yeah, I mean, I think this is just cosmetic. I don't think this heat shield does anything but keep you from getting severely burned or something while you're working on it. I don't think it's going to trap the heat or something to help the catalyst. Maybe it does. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to be removing that. It's not going to be able to be used. That's as far as I'm going to go with this job today. I've decided I'm going to order a water pump and a thermostat. And even from this distance, you can see that one pipe is way up compared to the others. I also need to replace the CV axle down here. I noticed it the other day that it was ripped. Let's take a look at it. See, it's gone. The other side looks okay, but I have to decide if I want to replace one or both. Probably just the one, because the driver's side probably has already been replaced. That's the way they usually go. Driver's side goes out before the passenger side. But I didn't replace it. I don't know who would have. We bought this car used. But yeah, so that CV axle needs to be replaced. I'm going to replace the water pump, thermostat, and then you can also look at this old catalyst here, old manifold, and you can see this is the one that's way high. Let me zoom out. So this one is way high on the new one. If it would have been flat like that, see, it's going into a manifold there, actually, isn't it? More so than just pipes going further down. So yeah, that's the problem. That's why I can't get those heat sinks on. Might be able to bend them to get it to work, but it's just not worth it. I don't think that heat sink's going to make much difference. Plus, it looks kind of cool with those pipes exposed. Looks vicious. All right, so that's it for today. I'm making good progress. So I got to replace passenger side CV axle, water pump, and thermostat next time. I don't know if I'll do it all together, but in the near future. Hey, thanks for watching.